Hello, I'm Dr. Greg Winteregg, CEO of the Private Dentist Alliance. I want to talk to all of you students out there today who are wondering what your future is going to be like as a career in dentistry. As an assistant, as a hygienist, as a dentist, where is this profession going with the rapid increase of the DSO movement? I'm here to tell you that PDA is going to help you, and I want you to become a member today. It is free. Now, why should you become a member? You're going to get weekly video updates from me, and you're going to get regular updates of our newsletters from the Alliance on exactly what is happening and how we are going to help preserve and protect the private practice of dentistry. Now, to me, the most important advantage is you are going to get access to our job board. What is that? Our private practicing members all have access to our PDA job board, which means if they have an opening in their private practice of assistant, hygienist, doctor, front office staff, they're going to be able to post it. And you're going to be able to check up regularly. And as our membership grows, we're going to be covering larger and larger territories across the United States. If you are looking for a job in any position in the office of a private practice, you need to become a student member today. It is free. Go to www.privatedental.org and become a student member today. You're going to love your benefits. Do it now.
What is up, guys? It's your boy Matt Havis back at it with the Dental Student Vibes podcast. Today we have a cool interview for you, something a little light. We have Minh. He's a current dental student. He's killing the game, and we sit down with him today. He talks all things balance, work life, everything that you need in order to be successful in dental school without burning out, still learning, but enjoying life, because as we all know, you're humans and you're also a dentist. So you need to be able to do the best of both worlds and let back, relax, and just take it easy some days. So tune in, check out what Minh has to say. He provides great points on how to do these things, how to get involved outside of dentistry, how to make friends outside of dentistry. That way you can be well-rounded. And he also talks about how you can strengthen your application while doing this to make you the most competitive as possible when applying to dental school. Tune in, check it out, let us know what you guys think. Follow us on Instagram at dental.student.vibes and let us know what we can do to make this the best podcast we can for you. As always, stay safe and vibe on.
Welcome back to another episode of the Dental Student Vibes podcast. I'm Seth Kalish. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Minh. Minh, how you doing today?
Good. How are you, man?
Good. So Minh is a dental student. He's my colleague here in dental school. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube, Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere that you listen to your podcast. And be sure to check us out on Instagram at dental.student.vibes and Facebook. Join our exclusive Facebook group, the Dental Student Vibes group. So Minh, how have you been, brother?
Good. Going through the swing, getting stuff done, trying to get all the prereqs, just trying to get it done.
Right. So Minh is also a third-year dental student. Right now, we are trying to complete all of our prerequisite treatments, aka class 2s, class 3s, SRPs. We got to do some dentures, and this is all leading up to do our competencies where we get graded. We do the entire treatment by ourselves, and then it better look perfect, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got to get it good.
Yeah. So, Minh, tell me, how did you kind of get started going down the path of dentistry, where you're from, and just give us kind of your background of how you got where you are sitting today.
So I kind of started knowing that I wanted to do something medical. Initially, just like everyone else, I wanted to be a vet. And then, you go out and hang out with people, and like it's mostly my dad's friends' kids or something like that. and you learn things just talking to them. And you were just, oh, like, what are you going to do when you grow up one day? And the guy's like, dude, I'm going to be a dentist, like I want to make my own hours and like work in one small area and like make a ton of money and like live a good, easy life. I wouldn't say easy, but you can balance a lot easier. And so as I progressed through high school, learning that getting into vet school is expensive, it's way more competitive. You don't get to talk to your patients, that kind of thing. And I just realized that, okay, maybe I should look into something else, just open up my options. And so I asked my aunt, she's a nurse practitioner, and she said, oh, I've got a friend that's a dentist. And they went to this USF together back in the day. And she's like, why don't you go shadow him? He's in Tampa. I shadowed one time in my senior year of high school. And after maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours there, I was like, this is something I want to do. Like he's super charismatic. All the patients love him. And like, dentistry's got that stereotype. People see you and they're like, oh man, I don't want to be here. But it's like a complete flip with him. Obviously you get some patients that are always going to be that way, but people come up to him and they're always like, oh, I want to see him. They specifically request him. I've gotten stories where people or his patients will specifically request him, and if they don't get him, they'll show up and he'll be super busy or something like that, and they wrote a letter to the office saying, I will not come back unless I see Dr. Ha.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to be that guy,
Right.
I want to be that person for people. And I like talking to people. I've done it my entire life, but after that, I started shadowing a ton more in college. I probably put in 400 or 500 hours at his office. I went from, huddle right in the morning. I wanted to see everything, how I went throughout the day. Like if I can hang with that, being young and having full of energy and being able to balance everything, I think I would be able to do it. Got to see procedures and all that and just loved it. And finally set my plan straight, set in stone. I was like, I want to get in somewhere. And once I get in, I got in, and we're here.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. So, Min, it seems like, and this happens with a lot of people, you had a great first experience with a particular individual. And I think, that really is what ignited your passion and set you off down the path that you're taking. However, for those of you guys out there who started out and maybe the first experience was, go check out some other offices, go meet more people. I really think the more people that you kind of branch out to, the better overall experience you'll have. And you'll understand that everybody has their own different types of passion for dentistry, whether it's, actually clinically treating patients, whether it's teaching, whether it's running a dental supplies company, anything,
Yeah, it's big. I shadowed an endodontist. I shadowed an oral surgeon, and I quickly found out that I'm not a huge fan of endodontists. Not endodontists, but just doing endo in general.
Right.
I was able to sit through one appointment, and the second one, I almost fell asleep 5 minutes in.
Really?
I'm standing up, almost fell asleep. But you get a lot of ideologies from people because I didn't like the way the specialty was, he taught me a lot about just taking care of your own practice, costs, cutting costs and all that, setting up your own place. He put down like $1.5 million for this building, and he thought he was at the end of his career, and he just wanted to invest in it, and it was one of the best decisions that he said he's made.
Right. So he went into the commercial real estate.
Yeah.
He owns it. Yeah.
Yep. So
Goals.
all that equity, and I mean, he's a little bit older. He still, does what he needs to do, and he's, I think at this point, kind of sticking around for the patients that he wants to like continue serving as long as he can for his community. So I think that's really valiant of him. So.
Right. So tell me about when you were applying. I know I can barely remember it myself now, but
so quick to forget.
Yeah, I mean it was a while ago. Think of all the experiences we've had since then. So tell me about like your application process and the DAT and all that sort of stuff. And then maybe if you want to mention something about the interview.
So I put in my application a little late, actually. I think I finished everything probably around September when people were, already have their stuff done well before then.
Interviewing at that point too.
Yeah. I what is it? I only, stupid of me, I only applied to the Florida schools. So it was Nova, LECOM, and UF. And DAT, that was probably like, SAT, ACT for high school to college. I was just like, if I know it, I know it, that kind of thing, right? I was at a disadvantage for DAT though, because I was under the assumption that biology would be what I studied at USF, but USF's bio, like just how the curriculum started going, was mostly like plant and animal bio. I had zero human biology. Like I maybe had a little bit of cell bio in the beginning, but other than that, I was like smacked across the face. It was bad. But I studied enough for all the other stuff and was able to pull out a good score. Let's see, Nova, actually, I was at UF for a dance competition actually. And
what kind of dance?
I used to do hip hop and stuff. So
there you go.
Very
stuff
nice.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna be in the next Chris Brown video.
Oh yeah. But my mom called me in the middle, like right before the performance, and she's like, "Man, I got an envelope from Nova." And I was like, "Oh, did you open it?" She's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "No."
Oh man.
It sounds
She's
so
like,
unenthused.
"It says we're sorry to." It was like, "Okay, Mom, I need to go. Stop." Like, I don't know why you opened it, but thanks.
Right.
Yeah, that they didn't want me right off the bat, which obviously was
Their loss.
yeah, I guess. It was quite the smack across the face, but it is what it is. I had actually contacted UF my freshman year of undergrad, and when they called me to tell me I hadn't got an interview with them, they're like, "Oh, like we remember you reaching out to us and stuff like that." And I was like, "Whoa, like this was 3 years ago. You remember that?" And she's like, "No, we just have it on file." I was like, it just blew my mind that they have that on file that I called them.
Right.
And that interview lived up to its name on Student Dental Network or Student Doctor Network. That was quite the interview.
You know what? Speaking of that, we should start a student dental network.
Yeah. But yeah, it was. It felt ruthless. Like they didn't want to laugh, even if you could try to get them, like to talk like a normal human being and like have a good conversation. You could tell that they had a protocol that they want to keep this as like professional and strict as possible, I guess. But they only went for your weak points. They didn't really want to know anything else about you. One thing that I did find out though is like I didn't even know about it to add it to my repertoire or anything like that was to do volunteering at dental clinics. And they brought it up and they asked, "Oh, like what didn't you do anything for dental clinics and stuff?" It's like I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought that was something that you do once you're in dental school.
Right.
So that was something that I could have added, but eventually I got an interview at LECOM. That was, I don't know, early February, something like that. So very late in the game. And went to the school, drove all the way down, and I was like, dang, this place is nice. It's clean. It's brand spanking new. UF had a very, I don't mean to trash on UF, but it had a very old, because it's an old building, but ceilings were short. It felt very antiquated. And you come here, and it's like all windows, and everybody's nice. Like I can't even tell if the school told these kids to be nice to the interviewees. And I think his name was who's the guy that's dating Marion?
Joe Zwickel.
Yeah, Joe Zwickel. I'm pretty sure it was him. I was in the cafe, first one there, about to like crap myself, and he's like, "Dude, you're gonna do great."
Yeah.
I saw like he's a nice guy. I saw his smile and all that, and it's like really put me at ease. Like everybody's like nice here, like they want the best for you and all that. And the atmosphere was just set. Went in and got her done.
Right. I saw him on my interview day.
Really? Yeah, man.
I did. He was so encouraging.
Yeah.
Him and Carson.
Yeah.
Right. So before we move to your dental school experience, what is one piece of advice that you would give to pre-dental students that are currently applying or hope to go to dental school in the next year or 2 years?
My advice is try to do everything that you can to meet as many people as you possibly can. Like I'm into cars. I was president of the USF car club. I was vice president of like some Asian origin stuff like that. Even like a fish club, like taking care of fish.
Right.
I met so many people and you learn so many things. And you never know, like I ended up hosting events at drag strips at like Tampa Bay Grand Prix. It's like a multi-million-dollar like, complex and all that. And you just talk to them. And like, at the end of the day, they're just people, as
Mm-hmm.
long as you have a plan, you're coming there to talk to them and they know what you want and what they want from you, like just go in and get it done. But yeah, definitely talk to as many people as you can because people like being a good person and being able to talk to people. With those experiences, I've noticed that with like bedside manners and stuff like that, talking to patients, it's like, oh yeah, I did do that. Like I did roofing with my dad, or like we've got people that do like composting, like anything at all. Like just you'll notice that anything that you can have in common with your patient that's like really personal to them immediately puts them at ease. Like it's like them opening up like a little flower.
Right.
So
And I mean, speaking of that, again, there's our theme of the importance of networking and then anything that you can relate to your patients. So for all of our listeners out there who want to get better at speaking to patients, we have a protocol for case acceptance. And one of our numbers of our protocol is to find 3 things in common with somebody and helps you relate more. So, I mean, Min has all these different side hobbies, all these different passions that are so cool. And that's what makes him who he is. Cars, fish. I mean, he's food. He's passionate about everything. Now he's got a camera and he's, doing interviews like we're doing interviews. Like the man is into everything. So that's a great thing. And another way that you can connect with more people, just, be interested about life.
I think also another thing is that the word networking seems intimidating. It sounds like it's like, oh man, I have to, in like a professional kind of like stiff way to get out there. Just like I need to talk to people, but it's more like you just need to go and have a good conversation. Just meet people. Like go volunteer. It could be anything at all in the world. You just need to be like laid back about it, have a good time.
It sounds like such a formal process.
Exactly.
I gotta network with this guy today, but meanwhile you just go and have like a casual conversation, and then you're exactly on your way.
It could be anything.
Right.
Like anything you're into.
Right. So, man, as you progress through dental school, what is something that you really enjoyed? What was like something that really spoke to you? And then like your favorite class or some different treatment that you did, anything like that. And then we'll go into some struggles that you've had.
Let's see. Favorite class, like didactic?
Anything. Yeah.
I don't know. I just like drilling. I like drilling. It's fun.
So would you say SimLab then? Just going through
I mean, SimLab overall was like a great time. I loved seeing my friends, and we would always race. Like we would race in a good way. Like we wanted to be fast, but we also wanted to get like the best result.
Right.
So like Dr. Stanford, dude's the man. He'd come and give you all these tips and tricks, and we'd be like, oh, but ours is better, right? Like we'd be comparing. We'll be like, we're you're in there. I'm next to, or used to be next to Daniel and Sammy, and we'd always be trying to see like who's gonna get in there and like get done fast first and the best. Just seeing everybody, all that. What was the other question?
So fixed and SimLab and operative, those were your favorite. What are some of the struggles? Like what's one time you remember, man, this is difficult. This is really an obstacle in my way. And this is something I'm going to have to really push to overcome. And then how did you get past that?
Let's see. I think my first roadblock was that Perio 1. I actually failed that first class, and I had to remediate it. I thought, man, this is it.
That was a tough class.
Am I not cut out for dental school? Like it got in my head, for like a week, and I was like, no, you know what? Like it's just, I had a best friend in high school. She would, we would be stressing about every test, and she's like, man, it's just one exam. One exam doesn't define your life, And it's like it came back to me, and I was like, you know what? That's right. Like I can go in there, do my best again, and ended up passing remediation and all of that. As far as hand skill stuff, I'm trying to be humble about it, but I've always been pretty good with my hands. I've been very like gifted dexterity wise. So if I see something and how it's done, or even what it looks like, I can pretty much make it look like that. If do it once, do it twice, do it 3 times. Once you're on the 3rd, 4th, 5th time, it just becomes natural, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Would you say that you were better with your hands rather than like academically, like taking exams? And stuff like that?
I'd say so. I personally am not a huge fan of studying. I get
You're not a fan of studying.
I'm not a fan of studying.
In professional school.
Yeah. Up until high school and college, my whole ideology for myself is that I'm going to put in like maybe 75, 80% and get the grades that I need, you know? And then once I get to dental school, then I'll apply myself because now it matters. And like,
yeah, it's a good philosophy. You always give 75% because if you do a little better, then people are like, wow, he's having a good day. But if you give 100, you can't do any better.
Yeah. I mean, I say 75%, but I never got a C in undergrad. So
there you go.
Yeah, I didn't want to burn myself out. You know, I know what I can do and what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, same thing goes with practicing. I hate practicing. It's like same thing. I know what it needs to look like. I just need to do it. I'll maybe practice once or twice and that's it. So,
but it's one of those things. I feel like it's psychological because I practice. I'm like, all right, it's a chore. But then when you do it on a patient, you enjoy it more because you're doing it for someone, you know, rather than just doing it because you feel like it's an obligation. I don't know. It's like a psychological thing.
Yeah.
You know, like practicing for ADEX, I was like, oh man, I got to go drill for 4 hours today.
Yeah.
But then like you go to a clinic and like, okay, you got to do this. And then like, you just hop to it. They're like, all right, let's go. Let's get it done. And then you feel accomplished afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
So
I know for the mocktical that we did, like the practice ADEX, yeah, I was in there for like an hour and 10 minutes.
Really?
I blew through all of them.
Wow.
The only things that I failed on were like, I somehow pushed the GP past the apex. Never did that before.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you it's because I forgot that the working length was 424.
Right.
And I put it at like 25.
Really? I think I did the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was one thing. Like everything else was like nice. 5 was a little sharp, but that's before I watched Matt's video that he sent me. And
that bridge prep video.
Yeah.
Shout out Stevenson Dental Solutions.
Oh yeah.
That's serious.
Those A, B, C, D planes and all that was huge.
Yeah. And like, it makes the rest of the prep so much. I don't want to get into ADEX, but it makes it so much easier to prep the rest of the tooth.
And then when I got to ADEX, I slowed completely down. Like I used pretty much all the time. I was there up until the last like 30 minutes, you know, just checking over and over and over because, you know, like this is what it needs to look like and this is what I'm going to make it look like. So
did you test Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So got to it pretty early on. So as you were going through dental school, what's some of the other non-school things that you did? Some extracurriculars. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Extracurricular wise, I'll backtrack a little bit. I did so many extracurriculars in college and high school that it just completely burnt me out. I was in like 13 different clubs and all that, and like
get officer.
Yeah, on the board and all that. Yeah. It was just like it was fun, but it was a lot, you know. And I was like, I want to focus on dental here. As far as extracurriculars in dental school, I haven't done that much. I've helped some people with their research and stuff like that. But one of the more enjoyable things, like I still like shadowing, you know, and I recently went again to Dr. Berger down on 70 on Smiles Lakewood Ranch. Dude's awesome. You know, he's from Tampa. He knows what he's got. He knows what he's doing. I always ask him for tips and stuff like that. Super, super cool guy. Just, you know, another mentor that you can look up to and like mold yourself with.
Check out his episodes on Middle Student Vibes.
Check them out. So, yeah, again, you met another mentor, networking. And how did you even end up speaking to him?
So actually, my best friend, co-captain tennis team in high school, his mom is Heartland's Tampa rep. So I met her again at the Loops Fair freshman year here, and I was like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I'm the rep for Heartland. I was like, that's incredible, you know. Like, and at the time, I was kind of iffy about DSOs. I actually went and shadowed a dentist that's related to one of our director now, Dr. Din. Her brother-in-law has a practice, and turns out he's my family's dentist.
Oh, really?
Near my house, yeah.
Right.
Shadowed him, but I started talking to her more, and I was like, yeah, like I'm getting kind of serious about this. You know, I know it's still a little early. And she's like, yeah, like you're like a year early. Like most people are applying or talking about it in their 4th year. And I was like, okay, let's like get something rolling. I'm very curious about it. And she's like, okay, let's do like a shadow interview kind of day. And she put me with Dr. Berger, told me about him a little bit. and super laid back. He was super super cool and made everything really nice. I think it was more just to see like, oh, is this guy a freak or is he like a human?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So now as you're progressing through dental school, now, like you said, now you're thinking about what's going to come after dental school, right? We all got that in the back of our heads. It's coming up soon. We got 56 days left of clinic as of today.
yeah.
So where do you see yourself in the next, let's say, year after you apply to dental school? And like, what's your vision for how you're going to practice dentistry?
I'm pretty on board with the whole Heartland thing. I think a year out, I'll probably be in one of their, new doctor sites, and hopefully I'll be able to, after a few years there, come back to like Tampa or something like that. I'm very open to like Texas, Georgia, Colorado, family out there, and it's like really nice place, very diverse. But let's see. What was the other?
So your vision, like how do you want to be practicing? Do you want to be in a big practice? Do you eventually want to own your own practice someday?
Be in a group? What do you?
I think I'd like being in a group, at least having a partner or something like that, someone to like rally ideas off of.
Right.
Like that way I'm not stuck by myself in my own head. Like I want different perspectives and stuff like that. Multiple practices wise, like, if I get there, I get there.
Mm-hmm. So that's not a big priority for you.
No.
But it is a priority to be in a group, or at least have other doctors with you that you can consult and
So
share ideas.
An equity stake in one practice,
right?
You're saying like
So,
50-50 with a guy.
Yeah. I just want to be able to, I don't want dentistry to consume my life. It's gonna be a big part of it, obviously. But I chose it because I wanted a work-life balance. And if I can't have that, if I have too much going on, but who knows, maybe I'll enjoy it a lot once I'm like handling my own business. But as of right now, I think I want to be like 50-50 in it, that way I have someone to rely on if I'm not there, and we kind of like pick up each other's slack.
If you want to take vacations or whatever, somebody could pick up for you,
Exactly.
they could cover. That's always nice. I like that model too.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're already well-rounded, so I don't.
Yeah.
I couldn't foresee I couldn't foresee you getting like consumed by it, because even in dental school, you're in the cars, you work on cars all the time. You still go to meets, you work on your own cars, you work on my car,
True that.
I mean, you do that stuff. You still have your cool fish tank and everything. We've talked fish, we talk all those, all your other hobbies and stuff. So being well-rounded seems like it'll be good for you, like to be in dentistry or whatever, but then not to overdo it, because that's how you burn out. You could have a very long, successful career doing doing everything the way you do it, works for you.
Like I don't need a ton of money. It'd be nice. I have an idea of what I want to make and what to be comfortable with.
Enough money to afford your cars and your fish.
Yeah.
You want that 30-car garage, 1-bedroom house. Get the Skyline, maybe McLaren, call it a day.
It's I don't think of dental as like the end all be all of money kind of thing. I feel like at the end of the day, I can invest it back into something that'll give me some like a month, investing back like a return.
Right.
So I'm definitely planning on doing like property and stuff like that. So retiring early, I'm not, if I want to, if I don't, it doesn't matter to me.
But that's a luxury too, if you
feel
like
exactly. The option would be nice. It's just to live a full life.
So one of our interviews, actually 2 interviews, we spoke with Dave Maloli. He's a dentist. What did he say? He takes like 6 weeks off a year or something like that.
Nice.
Just for his own personal mental health and stuff. Like super, super like inspirational guy with what he talks about. Like he has a good mentality.
Right.
He really does.
That's something I preach, if you're not happy every morning, if you're struggling every day to do something, and that's just going to wear you out, chop you down like a tree.
Right.
So
Shout out Dave Maloli, Relentless Dentist. He's got a podcast. The other guy we spoke to, Brady Frank. I love all of everything that Brady Frank preaches. So he's a big supporter of dentist-owned DSOs. So DDSOs, that's what he calls it. And so when we called him for the interview, he was on vacation. He FaceTimed us. He showed up picked up his phone. He had mountains in the background. He's like, yeah, I'm at the end of my vacation, but tomorrow I start my next vacation.
Yeah, he was in the mountains, and then he was going, I think, like Bahamas or something.
Yeah.
So he was going from like the mountains to the beach, and it was like a 2-part of a 3-part vacation.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, I mean,
Travel the world, see what's out there.
Yeah.
That's your networking,
Yeah.
the culture, it's out there.
Right. So, Min, any other topics you want to discuss? Anything you want to say to our listeners?
Not really. I felt like this was a pretty well-rounded interview.
Right. Any advice
Pretty
for
focused.
dental students that are in their first year and are starting out in dental school now?
It'll be hard. You'll feel like this is some of the most important things you're going to do, and like you can't screw up, but now's the time to screw up. This is where that you're still getting a little bit of slack, but they're expecting more from you. Second year was a lot. It was heavy. It's just like didactic, and you're starting to learn some of the hand skill stuff. But yeah, just it sounds cliche, but you just got to keep trucking.
Yep.
Find those groups of people that really support you. Sometimes it might take a few tries, but you'll find people that you click with, and keep each other up.
Definitely. Love it, man. All right. Student doctor, future Dr. Minley. Min, do you want to throw your plugs out there for your IG?
No,
YouTube?
not really.
No?
I'm kind of private about that.
All right.
I thought about opening it back up to public, and it's
Yeah.
like, I don't care enough.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
No worries, brother. So, guys, take care. I hope you enjoyed this interview with Minley. Check us out on YouTube. We got our video of our podcast. We also have our exclusive Dental Student Vibes Facebook group. Lots of discussion there, lots of interesting topics that we try to help students with. So take care. Until next time, vibe on.
all right, guys, that'll do it for our interview with Min Lee, student doctor, killing the game, dental student, future powerhouse in the dental community. He's the guy you want to follow. He's the guy you want to be like. Model yourself after him. That's what I try to do. I listen to all of the words of wisdom he says, and I try to implement that in my own practice. So, as always, follow us on Instagram at dental.student.vibes. Let us know what we can do to make this the best podcast we can for you. Let us know if there's somebody you want to listen to, somebody you want to hear from a certain topic. If you guys don't find a person and hook us up with them and put us on, we will find somebody. So just let us know. We love to do that. We love to help you guys out. So, as always, stay safe and vibe on.